This is my mare Nika, and at 3 o'clock this morning, Nika had her very first foal. Problem is she wasn't able to pass the placenta. If you're new here, my name is Brandi, and this channel is all about horses and my journey with horsemanship. If you want to learn more about horses or follow my journey, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell to receive all notifications. So there's a general rule with having foals, and that is there's a 1, 2, 3 rule. So within the first hour, the foal should be standing. Within 2 hours, the foal should be eating. And by eating, I mean nursing. And within 3 hours, the mare should pass the placenta. This mare, after 4 hours, had not passed the placenta, which is considered a retained placenta. So we got in touch with our vet, and she came out.
Heart and lungs sound good. She's got good, strong gut sounds. Pardon me, little man. I gotta check on the temperature. I know. Very rude. It's very rude. I know. Yeah, he's gonna be a cute little thing.
I wonder what color he is. Like
100.8, so we don't have a temperature. Good. This one goes on and take a look at that.
Good honey.
I'm sorry, this is gonna make you super crampy. Oh.
Remember what that feels like. This is oxytocin. What's the difference between that and pitocin? Same one.
Same thing.
Halter off or leave it on? Are you done with her?
Yeah. I'm done with her. So, the more that he nurses, that will also help release the natural oxytocin, and we'll get that. That's what helps get that uterus to involute after, because it's all big and stretched out for holding the baby for as long as it has.
Sure.
And the natural oxytocin, its job is to help get that uterus to contract down.
We had problems with nursing at first. It took a while. So.
And that's probably what has gotten that placenta to drop as much as it has dropped, is him nursing.
Okay.
So my goal is to get that thing out.
Okay.
To get a nice, good, strong contraction, like if you've ever had pitocin.
Yeah, it does.
It hurts.
Yeah, it does.
Right?
It's really bad.
It's wicked stuff. So this is gonna make her really, really crampy, but that contraction is gonna help get that get that placenta out.
Okay.
So she's gonna give her a little bit of time. Like I said, we can
Keep the bottle on there and everything?
Yep, keep that on there. I'm sure she's irritated by it, but gotta get it out. Gotta get it out. So I'm gonna leave some Uniprim. You have a choice between plain or apple flavored granules.
Apple flavored, of course.
Yeah.
And is that the antibiotic?
Yep. So that's gonna be, it's a good broad spectrum antibiotic. And given the, it's just prophylactically given the time, that I just want to kind of cover my bases, because the longer that placenta remains attached and in there, it's just a giant wick.
Yes.
And to get bacteria into that uterus. If we get bacteria into that uterus, now we have a uterine infection. That uterine infection can lead to septicemia. That can lead to laminitis. So those are all bad things that I don't want.
Okay.
So we're just going to kind of cover our bases and get her started on some of that. And I know.
She's already feeling it, hey?
Yeah. Well, again, if you've ever had pitocin, once that hits you, it's ouchy. It's ouchy.
So the placenta is supposed to come out in 3 hours. And if it's after 4 hours, it's considered a retained placenta.
Yep.
Okay.
And you know, it's not horribly uncommon for a maiden mare to have a retained placenta. because their uterus just hasn't been exercised the way that a broodmare that's had multiple foals has. And we're here to intervene. We're here to help her, and I know it's really crampy. So we'll just call it 5 o'clock now. We can give her another dose at 9, if that's not out. And I'll have you monitor temperatures, every few hours.
What's your temp be?
If it's over 102, then I want to know about it.
Okay.
So anywhere from like 99 to 101 is considered normal. I don't usually get too awfully excited if they're at 102, but 102 and above,
Scary.
then I want to know about it.
Yeah, and once the baby came out, he was laying on the placenta and it ripped it in half. So everything that's been there has just been like ground level. So I didn't really even have anything to tie up at that point.
Yeah. I know, I'm sorry.
We'll feel better in the end.
I know, you gotta get that thing out though, babe.
Looks pretty familiar from last night. Well, this morning.
Yeah, it's one of the things with retained placentas and mares is like your temptation is to just grab on it and yank.
Yeah.
And that's, we don't want to do that in this case. That I want her uterus to get it out because I want it to detach and I want it to come out. That, we can give it a little assistance, but we got to be really gentle about it, and that's where I want the drugs to work first, to get that uterus to contract, which will help that placenta separate. And then if we have to give it a little gentle persuasion, then we can, because there can be a little piece of that rips off inside her uterus, and then we have no handle to pull on, and then we have to go in and try and find it. So.
Okay.
Do you ever have to go in and sweep them out?
I don't want to do that. I want her uterus to expel it out for sure.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of territory in there, and her uterus is stretched out to hold him, and I've got pretty long arms, but getting to each horn can be hard.
Good.
Yeah.
And all I'm doing is just basically what the water bottle's doing, just a little added traction.
Yeah.
But steady, constant pressure, not tugging. We're making progress.
Oh, he just kicked at me.
Stinker. Stinker.
Very good. So if you're halter back on, oh, she's sweating.
There's a good contraction. So when we started,
Oh, wow.
was up there.
Holy smokes, yeah, that's a big difference.
Yep, and I just tied the end, like that part that was hanging, I just tied another knot around there. And like you can actually even just see it come out
You sure can.
with each contraction. And that's where her uterus is doing the brunt of the work.
So how much is left in there? Do we have any idea?
I don't know. As soon as this comes out, then I'm gonna lay it out, look at it, and examine it.
Mm-hmm.
Give you a break. I'll let you walk around for a second. Get it. See now the water bottle's on the ground.
Yeah.
So
Great. Good. That's nice to see that there's a change.
oh yeah. You gave me some good contractions. Good girl. Good girl, mama.
Oh, yeah.
Good girl.
So now that I see that, you would have been at this for a while.
Good girl, Mama.
I think this is the hardest thing I have to watch here. Yep. I'll be back, okay?
Oh
Okay.
yeah, that hurts. You can actually see it coming out with her contractions.
Yeah.
Oh, good
wow.
girl, good girl.
There it is. Oh,
There we go.
Good, honey.
Good girl.
Yay.
Good
okay.
girl.
Ooh, that's stinky. Okay, here we have the placenta.
That was where baby came out.
Oh. Wow. It looks like an octopus.
Yep. So this is a mirror image of her uterus.
Okay.
So we have each horn of the uterus. This was the horn that baby was in. We know that because it's bigger, right? So this was the part that was hanging out of her
Okay.
when I got here. And then this is the part that kind of came next. It was kind of like
Okay.
that little balloony
Yep.
looking. And I know that partly because it's still warm. And then this was all the rest of it that came out. So
What is all the brown stuff?
that is actually the part that nourished baby.
Oh.
So this was where like he was attached to all of this. And if we
Wow.
turn it inside out, you know, it does seem a little bit gross to do this, but they do this in people too.
Yeah.
Our people placentas aren't quite this big, but human doctors do the same thing with our placentas. So yeah. Yeah. There's the mirror image. Looks pretty darn good.
So no rips,
Quite-
tears.
I'm
You know,
quite
and I
pleased.
was wondering at first, how in the heck are you going to find a rip or a tear? But boy, that is like that would be easy. That's a thick
Yeah.
material. I didn't expect it to be so thick.
Yep. And as delicate as we were being, you know, we don't want this to rip inside of her. And like it is pretty
Right.
thick and pretty durable. I mean, it's held a baby for this many months.
Yeah.
Like it's gotta be able to hold up. So like it is pretty durable, but it's not.
Yeah, you can't tug on it.
You can't go ripping it out of this. But yeah, it looks pretty darn good. I'm quite pleased. I'm quite pleased. She just needed a little bit of help. Which again, same thing happens in people sometimes. That we just need a little help to get baby out, to get placenta out, and yeah, it looks pretty good. So like when I reach my hand in here, I can't go any further because all of the placenta is just it's a sac, and this
Okay.
is you know, this is the part that was attached to her uterus on the inside of her uterus. So the placenta makes a mirror image of all of that.
Okay.
So yeah.
What about umbilical cord? Where's what's
That if I'm good, I can. So like the weird thing with So like one of the reasons why this looks different than, like, if you've ever seen a human placenta, it looks kind of like a frisbee. With horse placenta, the baby, the placenta is attached to every bit of surface of her uterus. In people, the placenta is only attached through this disc, and it's just the difference in uterus, the difference in species. So baby was getting nourishment from every square inch of this entire uterus. And that's also part of the reason why, well, main reason why mares don't carry twins, because there's not enough real estate on this uterus to provide nourishment for two babies. There is enough for one, but there's not enough for two.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
It's just, this just can't get enough nourishment. There's not enough real estate to get that. So like we think in people, again, there's one point of contact between mom and baby, whereas here we have all of this contact providing nourishment through the umbilical cord to baby. So
interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
It is really cool.
Pretty cool stuff. And it's just this velvety red, it's a good color. It's a beautiful placenta. Beautiful placenta that held a beautiful baby. Yeah, if you wanted to get a close up, it's really you can really see like the velvety red texture to it, minus the straw. But, it really does look like velvet.
So the difference between cows and horses is, like I had read, cows have little patches of what's like Velcro all over their uterus that the placenta is attached to, while horses have basically Velcro on the entire thing attaching it. That was just like the analogy that I read.
Yep, and Velcro is a perfect analogy for this. So all of this is attached on the inside, and that's what nourishes baby. And in cows, they have little spots of connection between mom and baby through the placenta. They're called maternal caruncles. So mom has caruncles, and baby has cotyledons on the placenta in cows. And in the average Holstein, I think there's, it's like 128 points of contact in that uterus. And in a horse, all of that Velcro, all of that point of contact, it's one big connection. It's one big sheet of Velcro that connects this to the uterus. In cows, there's all these little bits of point of contact. And that's one of the differences between cows and horses as far as their reproductive ability and such. And cows, it's very common for them to have twins because with all those individual points of contact, it's easy for them to nourish two babies. It's not even unheard of for a cow to have triplets, and they're fine. Whereas in a horse, one, there's not enough room, and two, there's not enough real estate to nourish two babies in this, because it's one big point of connection, and having to share this real estate between two babies is risky.
Very cool. So I've had some people ask about if the mare is supposed to eat the placenta after she delivers. What are your thoughts on that?
So some mares might. With me here, I don't want her to eat it because I want to see it. And I want to see it because I want to know if there's any tears in it. And to me, I can feed mom, I can give her nourishment, but I can't reproduce this placenta. And to me, the value is looking at this placenta. So no, I don't really want to encourage her to eat this. Sometimes if you're foaling out a mare and she foals and she passes the placenta, then she might eat it, and then you just never know, which is not a horrible thing. The reason that mares would eat this is to remove any evidence of birthing, because when we think about horses in the wild, out on the range, foaling out and having a baby is like a beacon for predators to come eat my baby.
So
Yeah.
this is so rich and so yummy for predators. It's like it's a beacon for them. They can smell this from miles away, so they're going to be attracted to it. So the mare in the wild will often eat this as a means to dispose of it. So predators aren't attracted to the area, so she can have her baby and be protected. In this type of setting, it's more valuable for me to look at it. And any mare that's foaled out in a barn, in a controlled setting, it's the best practice to look at this placenta, because retained placenta, if there was a piece of this still in her, that can be life-threatening, and I don't want it to get to that. And that's where the importance in looking at a placenta is to save mom, and not have any problems for mom.
Horses are so smart. That's why they've survived for so many years, is because of stuff like this.
Happy feet.
He's like, oh, I kind of like hugs.
Good look, Mark.
Good job, little man. His lungs sound absolutely perfect.
Great.
One of the other cool things about babies is that, so he has a little bit of a heart murmur right now, which is normal.
Sure.
That's something that I totally expect. So in utero, the way that blood is circulated from mom to baby, it bypasses some of his anatomy, and by bypassing some of his anatomy, he has to have a hole in his heart in order to get it circulated.
Oh.
So it's bypassing his lungs,
Okay.
because when he's in mom, he doesn't need his lungs
Okay.
because he's not breathing.
Aha.
So
Interesting.
the heart has a hole in it, so it bypasses that circulation, and over the next few days, that hole in his heart is going to slowly close, and that murmur is going to be less prominent. So,
Awesome. Well, that's
yeah,
really
it's beating
interesting.
nice and strong. It's totally normal. Yeah, you did good. Yes, you did very good. So it's like a muddied lub dub. So it's not a nice crisp lub dub.
It's so cool.
It's more of like a whoosh 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 whoosh.
Aww. That's really cool. Wow, you can hear really good with those. Yeah. Well, I'm super happy with how that all has turned out so far. Nika's got an antibiotic to be on for a little while just to make sure that she's not going to have any issues, and I'll be taking her temperature every day as well and reporting back to our vet if it's over 102. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a like, share it with your friends, and comment below and let me know if you've ever been in a situation like this before. I'd really love to hear your thoughts. And if you'd like to learn more about horses or follow my journey with horsemanship, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ding that little bell so you receive all notifications. Thanks so much for watching.